Hello and thank you for watching this weather update for Cotton Incorporated, brought to you by Agrible, the makers of Morning Farm Report. My name is Eric Snodgrass and I'm a senior atmospheric scientist and co-founder of Agrible. Last week has been a big game changer for many producers across the southeastern United States. By this point, I know that many of you are tired of hearing about Hurricane Matthew, but I want to put one thing into perspective. Matthew's total rainfall amounts were incredible. A colleague of mine, Dr. Ryan Maui, calculated that when it was all said and done, Matthew dropped over 13.6 trillion gallons of water. To explain to my students how powerful of a storm Matthew was, I had them calculate how much energy was in Matthew's cloud field alone, and the number we arrived at was the equivalent of 245,000 Fat Man bombs like the one that was dropped on Japan in 1945. But these calculations mean nothing to those who have fields submerged in water or homes washed away by the flooding that Matthew caused. We often think of hurricanes as being large, destructive windstorms, but if we do, we will forget that the deadliest and most destructive aspect of a hurricane is its water. It's the water that it pushes and the rain that it makes. From 1968 to present, nearly 80% of all fatalities from hurricanes come from storm surge or inland flooding. So far in the United States, the flooding from Matthew's torrential rains, which we can see on this long radar loop, have already claimed 39 lives, making this the most deadly tropical cyclone to hit the United States since 2005. In fact, the death toll from Matthew is just 4 less than all tropical cyclone fatalities since 2006 in the United States, according to NOAA. Well, while Matthew was submerging the southeastern coast of the United States with well over a foot of rain in some locations, fields across the southern United States stayed relatively dry, as a large ridge in the jet stream prevented any major weather systems from moving through. Parts of northern Georgia and Alabama are actually in the 4th stage of drought, while fields along the lower Mississippi River have gone at least 2 weeks without rain, in some locations over 30 days without rain. Fields across Texas had a dry week too, except for the north-central part of Texas near Oklahoma. And as we expected, it hasn't rained on fields in California for quite some time, as they're getting ready to finish up their long dry season. Well, big changes are on the way for the whole United States, so let's start out west and work our way across to the south, and then back to the east coast. This animation shows the winds in the jet stream on Wednesday night, October 12th. Barreling into the Pacific Northwest are winds in the jet stream level that were in excess of 190 miles per hour in spots. These winds are guiding moisture-laden Pacific air into Washington, Oregon, and Northern California, and this is a very important feature to watch for our producers in California. And here's why. California is in the grips of a multi-year drought, and irrigation is a crucial element to all farming practices across the state. While the next 7 days of accumulated rain have northern parts of the state getting over 8 inches of rain in some spots. This is going to go a long way to fill reservoirs, even if the rain doesn't make it very far downstate. Now, shifting our attention east toward the center of the United States, rain is likely to spread across parts of Texas toward the end of this week, and some rain might even hit the very dry regions in Arkansas, Louisiana, Mississippi, and Tennessee over the coming days. This same region will see a pretty significant cool down as a powerful front passes through on Thursday of this week. A little further to the north, though, into the Corn Belt, and there are actually widespread frost and freeze warnings for this cold air. But the south will stay relatively warm, and that cold air that's moving across the Midwest won't hang around too long, as next week's shaping up to be a pretty warm week again. But our biggest question is whether the southeastern United States is going to see more rainfall in the coming days. Thankfully, an upper-level ridge in the jet stream will dominate the flow pattern for the short term, keeping temperatures warm overall and keeping skies clear of any major precipitation events. As the cleanup efforts are underway and crews are rebuilding dams, roads, and bridges, a drier forecast is exactly what this region needs for the next week. However, please remember that the hurricane season is long from over, and we need to be watching the Caribbean, Gulf of Mexico, and Western Atlantic for any potential development. If anything shows up in the long-term forecast, we will be sure to let you know. Well, thank you for watching this weather update, and as always, we at Agrible aim to provide the most timely and useful weather forecast information so as to help you plan your operations. Thank you.